I tried these small habits for better sleep, and something surprising happened. I wasn't chasing miracles, just a decent night's sleep, the kind where you wake up and don't feel like life is already winning. I wasn't looking for transformation, just relief from the tossing, the waiting, the conversations I kept having with the ceiling at 2 a.m. So I tried something, a handful of small habits, nothing fancy, nothing expensive, just little changes, one at a time. And yes, my sleep got better. But what surprised me most was what happened to my days. There's a certain kind of tired that sleep doesn't touch. And after a while, I wasn't sure if I was tired or just worn. Worn from the noise of the day that never seemed to stop, and the silence of the night that wouldn't let me rest. I used to think sleep was just about the hours you spend in bed, but it turns out sleep begins long before your head ever hits the pillow. It starts with how you hold your day, and whether you're willing to lay it down. Lesson 1. Wake up at the same time. The first habit I tried was simple. Almost too simple, really. I set a wake-up time, and I kept it. Not just when I slept well, not just when the night had been kind to me. Even on the mornings when I felt heavy and hollow, when I wanted to bargain with the day, when my body begged for just 10 more minutes. I got up, 7 a.m. That was my line in the sand. A small decision that became a quiet revolution. A flag in the ground that said, I'm still here. I'm still showing up. It wasn't about discipline. It was about rhythm. And rhythm, I've learned, is one of the kindest things you can give yourself when the world feels uncertain. It's a promise you make to your body. That morning will come, and it will be steady, even if the night was not. Something changed when I began rising at the same time every day. It wasn't dramatic. There were no trumpets, no gold stars, just this quiet shift. My body stopped feeling like a battlefield, and my mind started trusting the morning again. That consistency became a kind of self-respect. It reminded me that healing doesn't always look like breakthroughs. Sometimes it looks like simply getting up, brushing your teeth, putting the kettle on, and telling the day, I'm ready for you, even if I'm not. Lesson 2. Dim the lights before bed. The second habit felt almost symbolic. I dimmed the house, not just the bulbs, not just the overheads or the hallway lights. I dimmed the atmosphere, the energy, the expectation that I had to stay on until the very last moment of the day. I didn't realize how much the brightness was keeping me awake, not just on the outside, but inside. Because harsh light doesn't just strain the eyes, it sends a message to your brain. We're still going. Keep performing. Don't rest yet. So I tried something different. About 90 minutes before bed, I turned off every overhead light. I left only soft lamps glowing. Sometimes I lit a candle, the kind that flickers, like it's exhaling slowly. And without quite meaning to, my house stopped shouting and started whispering. It was like the walls themselves were telling me, it's okay to let go now. The day is done. My breathing slowed. The noise in my head softened. Even the dog seemed calmer. It wasn't just about melatonin or blue light or biology, though all of that mattered. It was about permission to stop striving, to stop scrolling, to step out of the harsh fluorescent hustle and into something warmer, gentler, human. I thought I needed a better bedtime. What I really needed was a better farewell to the day. Lesson 3. Keep your feet warm, but your room cool. It sounded too simple to matter, too strange to work, but I did it anyway. I warmed my feet, and I cooled the room. Wool socks in bed, Window cracked open, even in early spring. Layers pulled just right. My body, warm. The air, cool. And somehow, that night, sleep arrived like a guest I didn't have to chase. I learned later that warm feet help blood vessels expand, which tells the body, we're safe now, we can rest. A small drop in core temperature cues the brain to release melatonin, that elusive sleep signal we spend years trying to coax back into our lives. But I didn't need a study to know it worked, because something changed. There was a feeling I hadn't known I was missing, a feeling I hadn't had since I was a child, when someone else tucked me in. Safety, not the locked doors kind, the kind that says, you don't have to be alert right now. You don't have to perform. You can simply be. We don't talk much about how sleep depends on softness, on warmth, on signals that say, you're allowed to close your eyes now. And who would have guessed that a pair of socks and a breath of cold air could be the love letter my nervous system had been waiting for? Not everything that works has to be complicated. Sometimes, healing begins at your toes. Lesson 4, put the screens away. This was the one that resisted me. The habit I danced around. The one I excused, negotiated with, defended. Because it wasn't just about a phone, or a screen, or the gentle glow of pixels in the dark. It was about everything the screen gave me. A portal to distraction, to noise, to someone else's life. But also, a place to avoid my own silence. Still, I tried. 1 hour before bed, I made a promise. No more scrolling, no news, no texts, no doom-filled headlines or rabbit holes about things I couldn't control. And at first, it felt like loss. Like a hand had reached into the space where my nervous system usually lived, amped up, endlessly stimulated, and unplugged it. What do you do after years of going to bed with noise? You listen to the room, to yourself. I lit a candle, read 2 pages of a book I'd forgotten I owned. I ran a comb through my hair without hurrying, wrote a line or 2 in a journal, even if it was just, today was full. I'm still here, and in that space, a strange kind of stillness bloomed. Not silence like absence, but silence like shelter. Putting the phone away wasn't about being virtuous. It was about being available, to rest, to myself, to the part of me that didn't need to be informed or entertained, only noticed. Screens kept me updated, but stillness helped me remember who I am. Lesson 5, gratitude and forgiveness. This one didn't come from a sleep expert. It came from somewhere quieter, somewhere deeper. Each night, just before bed, I picked up a pen and I wrote down 3 things I was grateful for. Small things, forgettable things, really. The way the dog looked at me, the color of the sky through the kitchen window, the soup that turned out better than I expected. And some nights, I added one more thing, someone I chose to forgive. Not a grand, theatrical forgiveness, just a whispered one, a letting go. Sometimes it was a person from the past. Sometimes it was someone from that day. And sometimes, more often than I admitted, it was me. I didn't know what I was doing at first. It felt flimsy, childish even. But then, something began to shift. The knot in my chest loosened. The racing thoughts slowed, and my body stopped bracing itself for battle. I had always thought sleep was stolen by stress, by caffeine, by blue light. But sometimes, it's stolen by stories we're still telling ourselves. Stories of failure, resentment, fear, control. Gratitude was how I changed the script, and forgiveness was how I ended the chapter. It wasn't therapy, it wasn't a miracle, but it was honest. And every night it gave me a reason, however small, to believe that peace was still possible. Not just in the world, but in me. And maybe that's what I needed most. Not better sleep, but softer shoulders to carry the day into night. I didn't expect these small habits to add up to anything life-changing. But one morning, I woke up, and something was different. I didn't feel behind. I didn't feel foggy. I didn't feel like I had to recover from the night before. I just began with a cup of tea and a sense that maybe I didn't need to fight the day anymore. It wasn't perfect, but it was peaceful. And I realized I thought I was trying to fix my sleep, but what I was really doing was healing my relationship with rest. We don't talk enough about how sacred rest is. Not just sleep, but rest. The kind that isn't earned by productivity. The kind that doesn't require explanation. The kind that says, "You've done enough." These habits didn't transform my nights overnight, but they transformed something more important. My approach to rest. I stopped punishing myself for being tired. I stopped performing sleep like it was a task to master. And I started honoring it as a form of kindness. If you're lying awake at night, wondering what's wrong with you, I want you to know there's nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not a lost cause. You're just tired in a world that keeps asking more and more of you. So tonight, dim the lights a little earlier, put on the socks, turn off the noise, say thank you, say, "I forgive you," and see what happens. It might not be dramatic, but if you're lucky, you'll wake up one morning and realize you didn't just sleep better, you began again. This is the Golden Compass. Thank you for spending time with us.